Hello, it is I. Now, new Forza Horizon games see new features which really improves the game. The likes of Widebody kits, online minigames, and even cockpit drift cameras. However, the older games also saw pretty cool features which are not seen in Forza Horizon 5. Which is exactly why I made this video, as here are 8 features from old Forza Horizon games which you probably didn't know are not in Forza Horizon 5. That's a very complicated title. Anyways, before we get into this list, you know what to do. 4,000 likes, come on, the button's right there. And whilst you're down there, comment wibbly wobbly jellyfish because funny. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, in Forza games, as you may know, you can turn on simulation damage, meaning if your car gets mashed up, you'll struggle to drive it. And yeah man, overall it's a really cool feature. And I'd say that Forza Horizon 3 had the best simulation damage yet, because in this game they actually simulated fuel wear. Yep, that meant if you ran out of fuel in this game, you couldn't drive your car, which is so cool. But unfortunately they have patched it now, which I just don't understand. Like, why would you add a really cool realistic feature like that into the game and then patch it and be like, oh yeah, you know that really cool feature we added? Yeah, no thank you, you're not gonna have that anymore. Like, why would you get rid of it? It was such a cool feature. So nowadays in Forza games, if you're what are you doing? It's like a Mustang tug of war. Yeah, get out of the way, punkhead. But yeah, but nowadays in Forza games, if your fuel needle goes to empty, then you can still drive your car, which just doesn't make any sense, even on simulation damage. So Forza, if you guys are listening, then please bring back simulation fuel, because it was a really cool feature. You had no reason to get rid of it. Bring it back, please, and stop taking the fun away from Forza players. It is so annoying. Staying with Forza Horizon 3, did you know that you can actually mix and match different body kit parts, just like you see in Need for Speed games? Well, we could, but it was through a glitch. As usually on widebody cars in Forza Horizon 5, when you put the widebody kit on, the only things you can change are the wing and the bonnet. But through this glitch in Forza Horizon 3, you could change literally everything. I'm talking about front bumpers, side skirts, and, well, yeah, that. But you couldn't do that previously, so it was such a big upgrade to be able to do that to the cars. And the result of that was some pretty unique looking cars which looked incredible. They looked so good. In fact, you could even take the body panels off, which looked insane. I mean, it didn't look good, but it was cool, I guess. But of course, Forza being Forza, they patched it because they don't want us to have fun in the game. But it was really cool to have that feature in this game for the 2 weeks that it lasted, because some of the builds we created with that glitch were insane. Anyways, when you think of Nitrous, the first game that comes to your mind is probably something like Need for Speed, maybe Burnout or The Crew or some sort of arcade game. But did you know that this was actually seen in Forza Horizon 2? Well, it was, because in the Fast and Furious expansion of this game, you could actually drive some cars with Nitrous, which was so cool. Now at first I thought something like this would be too arcadey, but come to think of it, after all of these cringy expansions and everything like that we've seen in the Forza franchise, it just makes sense to have Nitrous in the game now. So Forza, you've broken the arcade barrier and created arguably one of the most childish racing games ever made. So I think now would be a really good time to reintroduce Nitrous as a feature that's gonna stay in the Forza franchise, because come on Forza, what is an arcade racing game without Nitrous?
Every day's a progress, slow steps, I need my own clothes.
Okay, now here's a really weird question. What do you think is the tallest building in Forza Horizon 5? You know what, something tells me that it's gonna be in Grand Hato, so let me try and find... Hey, that was a neat drift, you know. Okay, now we're in drawing mode, and I think this may be the tallest building I've seen in Forza Horizon 5. And it is pretty short. I mean, if it's not this building, then it's a building that's a similar height to this, surely. What I'm trying to say is that we're lacking skyscrapers in Forza Horizon 5. Because the map in this game is so old-fashioned. It's like everything is set in the 60s. Whereas in Forza Horizon 3 with Surfers Paradise, everything was so modern, and we saw buildings that were really tall in there as well. And in the Hot Wheels expansion of Horizon 3, we genuinely saw skyscrapers, which was insane. So we really need skyscrapers in a future Forza game, because most people don't want to drive on a map that looks like it's set in the 60s. So Forza, please bring back skyscrapers, especially if the next game is set in Japan, as that would be perfection. And we really need modern elements in this map as well, because everything in this game is so old-fashioned. Now, some people when playing Forza may want to experience driving in a Convoy online, but they may not have Xbox Live Gold to actually go online. So how on earth can you cruise with other cars without going online? Well, let me show you. Because in Forza Horizon 3, if you come up to an offline driver tile without crashing, whoa, okay, here I am. All I have to do is follow them. Follow them. When I get close enough to them, all I do is press the horn. and they join me. These are offline drive tasks, but they're gonna follow me wherever I go. Look at that, when I slow down, they slow down. If I gotta speed up, then they speed up as well. That's so cool. But let's say whilst they're going that way, I want to turn around because I don't like the way they're going. All I have to do is turn around, and then you might be thinking, oh, they're just gonna go away. Nope, they followed me. Look at that, they come. Oh, well, they're such good friends, man. Honestly, this is such a useful feature if you couldn't afford Xbox Live Gold, because believe it or not, yeah, I used to be broke. I mean, I'm still broke, but I used to be broker. I used to rely going online on those 14-day trial things. So features like this really came in handy for people who couldn't afford Xbox Live Gold. And I'm sure that some of you guys watching may be in a similar situation. So Forza, you really need to bring this back. There are so many Forza players out there who don't have Live Gold and they can't experience the full Forza experience. So a feature like this would come in really handy for those who can't afford it. What are you doing? You can't drive, man. What are you doing? When you start races in Forza Horizon 5, it gets a little build up and then it says go, and then you race, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's no reason to complain about that because that's just how you start the race. But in Forza Horizon 1, things were a little bit better, because in that game you actually had a race starting person where someone stood in front of the cars and then they sort of waved the flag to wave the race to start or something. I don't know how to describe it, but they basically acted like a human green light in a way. And yeah, man, it was so cool. I know this is a really tiny detail which literally nobody cares about apart from me, but we really need details like that to return into the Forza franchise, because Forza is really lacking atmosphere. And come on, if Jay was introduced in Forza Horizon 4 by starting the race like that, surely he has to return in Forza Horizon 5 or 6 and do the same thing. I mean, I don't want him to see him in Forza Horizon 6, but you know what I mean. We need someone to start the race because it really adds atmosphere and it's a really cool feature, and I don't see why they got rid of it because everybody loved it so much. I don't know. And on the topic of racing in Forza Horizon 1, there's a really cool detail which may surprise you, which is the fact that there are race helmets in Forza Horizon 1. Okay, now you might be thinking, well, that's not new, we have that in Forza Horizon 5, and yeah, I guess we do. But in Forza Horizon 1, you can free roam without a racing helmet, and then you can race with a racing helmet. How crazy is that, man? That is genius. Not only is it a realistic and cool detail, but it promotes racing with a helmet, even though I don't condone racing on the streets with a helmet unless you're in Mexico, which this game is set in. So if you want to race with a helmet in Forza Horizon 5, then do that. But yeah, man, it's kind of smart, you know. Like, Forza Horizon 1 was way ahead of its time, promoting racing with helmets, a health and safety genius right here, you know. So it'd be really cool to have one outfit for normal free roam and another outfit for racing in, like a racing helmet, a racing suit. Hey, that would be genius, you know.
Don't get too attached. Roads will have you doing laps.
Now in Forza Horizon games, we have radio stations which are really cool, but there are a few problems with them. The songs are cringe, they're repetitive, we get bored of them quickly, and they are most of the time not to our taste. So Forza Horizon 3 had a genius feature where they partnered with Groove Music, which allowed us to play our own songs in the game. Yep, we could create playlists and play our songs through the game, which is so cool to see. But unfortunately, you can't do that anymore in new Forza games because Groove Music shut down. So yeah, man, that's kind of sad. Now you could bypass this by opening up the Spotify app through Xbox or go on your PC to play songs like that, but it was so cool having this as an in-game feature. Like, imagine if it showed what song was playing through the radio like this. That'd be so cool to see. So yeah, man, I really hope that Forza do sometime in the future partner up with Spotify or some sort of other music streaming platform, because it would be really cool to listen to our own music like that again, because Groove Music in Forza Horizon 3 was so cool. Okay, now this is the 8th point in this video, but I'm feeling a little bit generous today. So make sure that like button is pressed. You already know what the target is. Thank you very much, and here is the 9th point. Now, as you may or may not know, on the 426 Plymouth Cuda, weight reduction on this car actually gets rid of the passenger seat, which is so cool to see. I mean, look at this, the seat has actually gone. How cool is that? That is so incredible. But in Forza Horizon 1, this was even cooler, because you had this on every single car in the game. Yep, you can remove the passenger seat from every single car in Forza Horizon 1, which is insane. Meaning, technically, interior customization has been in the franchise ever since 2012, but they decided to remove it after Forza Horizon 2, which I just don't understand. But what's more confusing is the fact that a lot of these Forza Horizon 1 cars are in Forza Horizon 5, just like this Cuda, so technically they could have kept it, but they decided not to, which is very confusing. So I really hope that sometime in the near future they do bring back this feature, because it was such a cool feature. They had no reason to get rid of it. I mean, who at Playground Games looked at the feature and thought, this is a really good feature, let's get rid of it? I mean, who does that? So Forza, if you're listening, you're probably not, but if you're listening, please bring this feature back into Forza Horizon 5 or 6 in the near future, because that would be very good. Now if you enjoyed this video, then you might want to watch this video up here, so make sure to give that a watch right now. And if you want to check out my channel, then press this button right here and you can see my channel somewhere over here. Yeah, do it. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Cheers.